here's why the meta is going to change in 2K26 and what you need to know about the builder. So the first thing that you're going to see here that 2K mentions about the animations is that there are numerous outcomes within the player builder. This year, each create your own build will shift through dozens of NBA player comparisons before choosing the best animations associated with the suggested players and assign them as default animations for a more enjoyable and streamlined experience. So not only are you going to be able to go ahead and search animations based on the player that you want to be able to play like if you're able to get those animations based on the height restrictions, but when you go ahead and test this player, you're also going to get assigned the best animations for you. Now, we don't know if when you actually make the player, you get to keep these animations or you still have access to them, but it is going to make it easy to work for you to know which animation is going to work best for your build. So that is a massive W there. But here's the thing that I want you to take a look at, and that is build by badges. This is going to change and make it so much easier for you to be able to create your player. And here's the reason why. Okay, not only are you going to be able to go ahead and lock in badges, but here's what it says right here. Choose your desired badges and tiers: bronze, silver, gold, Hall of Fame, and Legend, and the minimum attribute points required will automatically be locked in. So, meaning you can then spend your remaining attribute points to max out categories of your choosing to reach 99 potential without missing out on your must-haves. So, let me show you what this looks like, okay? So the first thing you're going to see here on this page is that you're going to see that we have Shifty Shooter pinned, right? And that's going to pin and lock mid-range shot at 96, speed at 85, and agility at 77. So now, once you know for sure you want Shifty Shooter, now you can go ahead and customize other attributes and ensure that your speed, agility, and mid-range are not going to move. But here's what it looks like, okay? When you choose a badge level to pin, its attribute requirements, it's going to tell you that if you want to be able to get Shifty Shooter on Hall of Fame, you either need a 96 mid-range shot or a 96 three-point shot, okay? Then it's going to ask you which one of those attributes do you want to pin, because obviously you don't need both of those attributes to get this badge. So you can say, hey, 96 mid-range costs less, so I'm going to go 96, or I'm going to go 96 three-ball. And then you can go ahead and pin it. And what you'll see here again in this screenshot is that you'll see that it locks multiple attributes associated with that badge. So this is going to make it a lot easier for you to be able to start finding and fine-tuning your build based on the badges that you want to be able to acquire. Now, let's talk about this massive W that came here to the builder, which is the body types. So here's what it says right here. Get a glimpse of your MyPlayer's body type in NBA 2K26 with the all new visual previews of what you can unlock as you're making it. And then you can unlock body types by completing 3-star Gatorade Gym workouts, similar to how we did in 2K25. But here's what this looks like here now. So you're going to see here that when you're making your player, whether it's a point guard, whether with weight, whatever strength, you're now going to see the access to the body types that you have. You no longer have to make the player, log in, and go to see which body types you have access to. That way, if you're a PG and you want to be thin, to be able to be a little bit more agile, you can do that. If you're locked down, if you want to be burly, you can go ahead and do that now. And now you can understand what body types are available to you before you even make the player. But here's the biggest thing that you want to take a look at. And these are going to be the builder templates. So here's what it says right here, okay? Not only are there going to be roughly 10 times the number of archetype names available in 2K25, but it's going to give you more unique titles and better communicate your MyPlayer's strength. So you're no longer going to really maybe have the ability to make a lot of catfish builds, but you're going to have the availability to maybe have a different name than other people because you've made some minor tweaks. So we're going to get access to the NBA builds, the community builds, and the Pro Tune builds. So here's what this looks like, okay? Which is going to be here. You have the create your own, you have the Pro Tunes, the NBA builds, and then you're going to have the community builds coming in season 2. So when you look at the NBA builds, you're going to be able to see here that you're going to get, from what they said, a lot of the All-Stars in season 1. So what you're going to see here is you have Carmelo Anthony. You'll be able to get all his animations, everything that Carmelo Anthony does. Same thing for DeMar. And you can see here, if you edit body settings or attributes, it will result in the removal of all signature animations. So that is the perks of doing an NBA build, is that you get all of the animations, but you're restricted on being able to change the attributes there. So when we look down here and we look at the scouting report, this is the new end screen. After you finish making your build, this is where you're brought to be able to look at. So here's what it says. Okay, this displays your best badges and attributes and coaches you on your strengths and weaknesses. So, for example, if you make a point guard with a low pass accuracy rating, the building will flag this as an area of concern and potential detriment to your teammates. So here's what this looks like here. Okay, so you're gonna see here, you're gonna have your go-to badges, you're gonna have your top attributes, and then your strengths. Consistent shooter from deep, handles like a magician's wand, pulls up smooth, and weakness. Not a dunking threat, not a threat to steal the ball. What is the archetype? This is an ISO sniper with shades of Stephen Curry, Trae Young, and Steve Nash. And you can see here the go-to badges: Deadeye, Limitless Range, and Shifty Shooter. So you're going to see here that the scouting report is going to change everything here for you. But here's what happens with the height. They've now added to where you can have 7-4 builds, okay, like Wemby. But here's the most important thing, because in 2K25, height kind of mattered, right? It kind of restricted you to kind of play into the meta where you either had to have a 6'2 guard, a 6'4 guard, a 6'6, you can have a 6'9, or, you know, a 7-footer, and there really was nothing in between, right? So this now says here, okay, that the MyPlayer builder has been balanced to ensure that all height measurements, short and tall, can be effective against anyone on the court and encourage more build diversity. So now, if you want to have a 6'11, a 6'10, a 7'2, again, right? Like, of course, speed and all that stuff matters, but you're going to have the ability to kind of make those kind of build heights and not feel like you're at a massive disadvantage on the court. But that is not the only thing that 2K announced. They also mentioned these new badge perks that are gonna make MyPlayers a little bit toxic. So go ahead and watch this video right here where I talk more about the badge perks that you get.